What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are back with another pickups video, an emergency pickups video, because we just recorded one like a couple weeks ago. So this is unprecedented, but let me tell you, this has been one of the craziest weeks for collecting I've probably ever had. It's insane. It's insane. I'll tell you guys all about it. But Facebook Marketplace has been coming up big all week long. It's crazy. Usually I would space these out, you know, I would take my time, curate the pickups, but no, we went hard. We went hard this week. And let's start it off with something I was not expecting to get at all. And I picked up a Sony PVM. It's a 14-inch, perfect size for just sitting on the desk. It's got S-video inputs. It looks amazing. Now I know I just picked up this 27-inch Trinitron, the consumer set, you know, but let me tell you, PVMs, they do not pop up all the time. They are a hot commodity, especially where I live. They're very, very rare, hard to find. I live in Vancouver, and let me tell you, around here, we have a very competitive, nerd scene. You know what I mean? Game collecting, CRT Trinitrons, shit like this, they go fast. They get snatched up real quick. So this guy posted this on Facebook Marketplace for a steal. Very, very cheap for what it goes for in other corners of the internet. They're actually really hard to find. And I messaged this dude immediately, and I was like, I'll come and pick it up right now. And so when I got there, he was one of us. He was one of us. He was only selling this one because he had another one and he didn't have space for both of them. So I'm just all right, perfect. You know, and it definitely has gone to a good home. It looks amazing. Let me tell you, just playing N64 through S-video on the PVM. Dude, it looks insane. It looks absolutely incredible. Videos for these kinds of things really don't do it justice. I know it's a very niche item. It's old technology, but you guys gotta understand. You gotta understand. Once they're gone, dude. They're never making these fucking things again, right? So, analog video, analog technology, savor it while you can. Anyways, moving on. Next, this was crazy. I have never experienced this before. I thought these kinds of things in my city they didn't fucking exist, okay? So my friend Bear, he messages me on WhatsApp, and he's like, on Facebook Marketplace, I met this guy who was selling all of these games out of several storage lockers here in Vancouver. I'm just like, what? He's like, yeah, it's some storage wars bullshit. And I'm just like, I need to get in on this. So we went back. He went back and he went with me. And because when he was there, he was on a time constraint. And when I got there, I was in awe. I could not believe it. This guy, he just bought all of these storage lockers, and it was full of old video games. It looked like the storage lockers used to belong to a video game store or something like that, because it was floor to ceiling PS2 games, GameCube games, Wii games, PS3. It was insane. In the other room, he had a bunch of complete inbox N64 stuff, Super Nintendo stuff, old action figures. It was crazy. I fucking couldn't believe it. To be honest, I took a little bit of video. I wish I took more. I was just so overwhelmed. And I picked up a stack of items and I got them at such a steal, dude. I feel like I robbed this dude, but he was so overwhelmed and he was dealing with so many other resellers and people contacting him. Bear and I think we kind of got the inside scoop, because let me tell you, when we were there, we were the only ones there picking through several storage units of stuff, and we had quite a bit of time and freedom to just kind of go around and look at everything. It was super cool. It was insane. I'll probably never get a chance like this again. The downside is, apparently the day before, this other guy came by and cleared out all of the valuable GameCube stuff. So I literally didn't get any GameCube items, because it was all, at that point, it was movie tie-ins and sports games. And that was it. So I didn't go crazy. In retrospect, I probably should have gotten more stuff. But let me just go through this. And he gave me a deal, and all up, dude, I paid very little for all of this. It's insane. Again, I feel like I robbed the dude, but let's start it off. So we got some PS3 games and a whole lot of PS2 games. We got first X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yo, this is an M-rated Marvel Wolverine game, and it's absolutely insane. Made by Activision, and this game never got ported anywhere. It's only available on PS3 and 360, and it's an absolute gem of a game. It's M-rated. You guys, oh, wrong side. M-rated. It's totally a hidden gem, slept on title. It's awesome. Oh! Next, we got God of War Ascension. Now this is a non-numbered sequel God of War game. It's wasn't nearly as popular as the other God of War games, but because of that, it didn't sell as many copies, and it's a little bit more uncommon than the rest of the God of War games. I remember I played that game at PAX like fucking 11 years ago, and they were really pushing this multiplayer mode it had, and I don't remember if it was good or not. Next, we picked up Silent Hill Homecoming on the PS3. We have played this game on the channel before. Like, you know, Silent Hill games post like the PS2 generation weren't all that great, but I don't know, there's still something special about Silent Hill. Like even Downpour and Homecoming, they're still pretty neat. I still enjoy them. They're not great, but I like them. Oh shit, it's the nurse. Holy fuck. Next, we picked up Bionic Commando. Not a rare or valuable game by any stretch of the imagination. But again, I was paying fucking peanuts for these things, so I'm just like, I don't have Bionic Commando. I've actually never played it. Let's pick it up. Next, we just did a YouTube short on it in the main channel. That's Aliens, Colonial Marines. This game's trash. But it's insane. Go watch my YouTube short on this game, because the AI was the biggest problem with this game, and the AI was largely fixed by a single typo in the game's code. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Go watch my video. And this is a shout out to my friend Billy. I had to pick this up. I saw it. I'm just like, I gotta get this one. This is Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2. I don't like Dynasty Warriors, and I don't really know Gundam that much either. But hey, this is a pretty sought-after game. It's actually pretty uncommon these days. Even back when this game store was still open, it was selling it for $54. So it goes for more these days. And again, I paid very little. Very, very little for all of these. Next, we got, this is the only PS4 game I picked up. That is Divinity Original Sin 2. Let me tell you, I'm playing right now Baldur's Gate 3. Game is insane. And it's made by the same studio, Larian Studios. Super talented, they're awesome. And Baldur's Gate 3, it's the third Baldur's Gate game, but in reality, it's the third Divinity game, right? Baldur's Gate 3 is more Divinity 3 than anything else. And that's a good thing, because Divinity 2 is actually a badass game, so I wanted to pick it up physical. Super, super cool. Next, we picked up a Lone 360 game. Lone 360 game, and that is Bullet Witch. This was a very strange Xbox 360 exclusive. And that's a third-person shooter with this fucking sexy witch lady, and she's just got this gigantic gun, and she shoots a bunch of shit. That's the game, dude. That's the game, but it's a pretty uncommon title. Very unique, 360 exclusive, random as hell. Okay. One thing I do wish, when I was going through all the storage lockers, I wish they did have a lot of like N64 stuff, but for all of those items, he was very much like the seller. He was really like looking up prices on eBay and stuff like that. So I'm just like, all right. He was willing to cut us a deal on all of these disc-based games. So I'm just like, pretty much that's what I mainly bought. I mean, that's all I bought. Okay. Next are all PS2 games. Let's start it off. We got... This is a random one, but I thought it looked fucking cool. That is Cartoon Network Racing. I'd never seen this before in my life. And let me tell you, I was raised on this era of cartoons. Fucking loved it, dude. You got Johnny Bravo and Dexter right on the front cover? Come on, dude. I haven't popped this in yet to try it out. You got the Powerpuff Girls? You got Mojo Jojo in the back. It's so sick. I'm just like, you know what? I need to add this. Need to add it to the stack, dude. Next, this is a really uncommon game. So I paid fucking peanuts for all of these. So little what I paid. And this game is called Galactic Wrestling, featuring Ultimate Muscle, which is an old anime back in the day. And this game is super uncommon, and it sells for a decent amount. And again, got it for very little. It's a crazy, like, wrestling fighting game with an insane roster of characters to choose from. Really cool game. Bandai game before they were Bandai Namco.
Yeah, feels good.
Next, we got Shadow of Rome. This is a Capcom game. It's like an action-adventure game where you're like a Spartan in the Colosseum, you know? My friend Bear was telling me about this game, and he's like, yo, you should pick this up, dog. And I was like, all right. I've actually never played it before. It's a Capcom game. I'm into it. And apparently it's really, really good. So I definitely want to check that one out. Next, I had never seen this game before in my life. This is called Ever Grace. It's like a 3D action RPG. I'd never heard of it. I just thought it looked interesting. When I see something that I've never seen, I'm a fucking nerd, okay? Odds are, if there's a game there, I know the game, right? When I find a game that I don't even know of, it gets me interested. I'm just like, all right, add it to the pile.
Hey, you! What do you want? Go away. You bother me.
Next, we got Capcom Fighting Evolution. This game sucks, dude. And I'm such a Capcom fanboy. I'm such a fucking, I'm such a nerd with this shit. I love fighting games. You got Guile right on the front cover, but this is the laziest fighting game ever released, right? They just took sprites and characters from other games and just put it all together, right? I guess they added Ingrid. She was a new character or whatever. But it's not great, but it's got like, there's like Street Fighter Alpha with Third Strike and Darkstalkers and Red Earth. Ain't nobody played Red Earth, dude. It's Capcom Fighting Evolution. I think it was called Capcom Fighting Jam in Japan. Next, we got Tekken's Death by Degrees, featuring Tekken's Nina Williams, which I've actually never played this game. I hear it's not great, but it's interesting, right? I love Tekken. It's an action fighting game, beat 'em up. So I'm into it. And this back in the day, this also came. Yep, it's in there. It came with a demo disc for Tekken 5. And I'm pretty sure back in the day, so many people probably bought this game just for the fucking Tekken 5 demo. Because there's so much hype around that game back in the day. There's like been weird cases like that where a game will sell lots of copies because of an included demo. It's insane. Next, we got MTV's Jackass the Game, developed by Red Mile Entertainment. Some made up shit. I've never played this game. I knew about it. It's a pretty uncommon title. But you know what? Again, I was a teenager when the Jackass boys were doing their thing. You know what I mean? This is really my generation of MTV. And I love the Jackass guys. I still do. I can't fucking help it. All right? The crude humor, I'm all about it. All right? Don't judge me. Next, we got Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. Now, when it comes to the PS2 generation and Gauntlet games, my jam was Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I actually never played Gauntlet 7 Sorrows, but I love Dark Legacy so much, I'm just like, all right, I gotta pick this shit up and check it out. One thing I actually need, I don't have a copy of Dark Legacy. I don't know why. I just don't. Next, we got Aqua Teen Hunger Force. This is a zombie ninja pro-am. This is a silly ass game. This is a Midway game, dude. Midway cross Adult Swim. Never thought I'd see the day. And again, I was like a teenager during Aqua Teen Hunger Force. This whole generation, right? Mid 2000s. I was all about this kind of shit. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, such a weird brand of comedy, but I always enjoyed it. So that game, again, another pretty uncommon game. I saw this on the shelf. I'm just like, there's a fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force video game. I'll check that out. Made by Midway. You know me. I'm all about Midway. Come on. Pretty uncommon title. Next, we got Front Mission 4 for the old PlayStation 2. This is a Square Enix mech strategy game. It's like a strategy RPG. And I've kind of discovered Front Mission recently. Because over on the Switch, on the old Nintendo Switch, right? They're re-releasing all of the Front Mission games. I think they're doing it on other platforms too. But I was playing it on the Switch. And it's totally up my alley, dude. It's like Fire Emblem with mechs. It's very, very cool.
Hey, she's a pretty good.
Next. Can't believe I didn't have this game in my collection. Insane. This is Spider-Man 2. The movie tie-in game. One of the best movie tie-in games ever released. You know, with Spider-Man on the PS5 coming out very, very soon, it would be fun to revisit this one because, let me tell you, Spider-Man on like the PS5 and like the PS4 one took a lot of inspiration from this guy right here. One of the best movie tie-in games ever released. So good, especially back in the day, dude. It felt so good to swing through the city. They nailed the web slinging mechanics. And especially for this era on PlayStation 2 back in the day, it was just such a cut above so many other games out there. Next, we got a Drakan. The Ancients Gates. I'd never heard of this game before. This is another one of those situations where I'm just like, what the hell am I looking at with this game? I've never heard of this before. Look at the back of the box. I could do a better fucking Photoshop job than that, dude. Holy. This has been made by, who is this even made by? Surreal Software. This is an action RPG. I looked up some footage of it before recording this, and it looks interesting. But again, it was one of those things where I've never even heard of this. Add it to the stack.
Wait. Road belong to Olak. Olak no say you use. Now you pay Olak fine. All your gold.
Is that so?
Next. I was stoked when I saw this amongst... Let me tell you, sifting through this storage locker was a chore. It was a job. There was... Things were not all like faced properly. You got spines this way, that way. There's piles in front of other piles in front of other piles. If you want to get to the back, you gotta push. It took forever. Okay, by the end of it, my hands were fucking filthy. You know, we had to put in work to find these deals. Let me tell you, to find these gems. God damn. Next, so when I did find this one, because this is a game that I've wanted to add for a little while, because I'm a fan of the series, because it's such a bizarre series. This is Raw Danger. And again, they had this stickered for $50, dude. $50. And again, who knows when the game store went out of business and all their stuff ended up in the storage locker, right? But this is a disaster report game, right? So this is technically, I think, the second disaster report game, and then they released it in North America, and they named this game Raw Danger. It's such a unique game. It's very bizarre, very strange, and they're still making disaster report games. One came out on the Switch only a few years ago. So, Disaster Report, aka Raw Danger, super cool. Next, this is another one, Gem in the Rough. Holy dude, when I saw this, I'm just like, yoink, adding that to my pile. Keep in mind, my friend Bear was there too. We're competing against each other, you know? I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna find all the good shit before he does, dude. So when I saw Armored Core 2, I'm just like, hell yeah, we're adding that to the pile. We are adding that shit. because this game, even if you search for listings on eBay, there's not even very many. It's a pretty uncommon game, and it goes for quite a bit more than what it's marked at here. And it's complete, very good condition, super cool game, and Armored Core is back in the public conscience again, because Armored Core 6 technically just came out, which I need to play at some point. Next, we got NBA Street Volume 3. Dude, I love all of the NBA Street games. EA Big, anything EA Big is a winner in my books. Because it's like, look, I'm not huge into sports games, but if you make like a fun arcadey sports game, now you got my attention. All of the NBA Street games are very, very good. Second one's probably most people's favorite, but they're all good, dude. Next, another one I was stoked to find. This is The Punisher. This is a THQ Marvel game. This game, it takes a lot of inspiration from like Max Payne, and those kinds of games, It's a third person stealth, not really stealth, but it's a third person like shooter, super violent. You can like torture and interrogate people. It's fucked up. M-rated Marvel Punisher game. Super cool, dude. Really, really cool game. Stoked to add it to the collection.
What an asshole. Thanks for wasting him.
Okay, last game I got from the storage locker, and that was Full Metal Alchemist and the Broken Angel. Full Metal Alchemist and the Broken Angel. There's a Square Enix game. It's an action RPG, and Full Metal Alchemist, FMA, as they call it, was one of the first animes that I kind of watched. I think it's really good. It's a really good like beginner, like intro anime to get into, right? Because it's not super long. It's really engaging. It's got good action, good story, great characters. Such a good anime, such a great story. So pretty cool to add that one to the collection. Okay, final game, final pickup, and this one I actually didn't pick up at the storage locker. That was it. All of these that we got at the storage locker, there's a lot of good games here. There might not be any like hidden gems, like I really like fucking found something super valuable, but there's a lot of like really decent titles here where if I were to like get all of these games individually, piece by piece, from like eBay or at game stores or whatever, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Okay, next, last item. This is a grail. This is a holy grail that I've wanted to add to the collection for a long time, but the opportunity never was there. The price was never right. All those kinds of things. But I was over at one of my local game shops, and they had it. And they had it for a very good price, like way better than anything you would find on eBay or anything like that. So I'm just like, maybe I should do it. Maybe I should pull the trigger, and I absolutely did. We picked up God Hand on the PlayStation 2. This is a Capcom Clover game. This is a 3D action beat-em-up game. It's a crazy game. It's one of those games, when it first came out, it reviewed terribly. It got like 2s or something. I remember like IGN's review was so famously harsh on the game, and it got a terrible, terrible review. But it developed a cult following in the years that followed, and it's so silly, it's so over the top, it's such an insane game, dude. And I wanted to pick this up just because it's such a crazy game, but I'm also such a Shinji Mikami fan, I love Resident Evil 4 and Evil Within and Resident Evil 1 and all these other things that he's done, that God Hand, one of his biggest flops. I was like, I gotta add that to my collection, dude. Need to do it. That is God Hand for the PS2. Super stoked on that. Very, very cool. We pulled the trigger, dude. We did it. So you guys, that's everything. We just did a pickup video like 2 weeks ago. This is insane. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This was the craziest week of game collecting I've probably ever had. I don't think we're ever going to get another week like this, so we had to do an emergency pickup video. Unprecedented. It was crazy, but as you guys saw, warranted, right? Absolutely warranted. Justifiable. What the fuck am I talking about? Alright guys, that's everything. thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you guys again soon for more pickups. Peace.